All right, everyone. Welcome to the Stoa, uh, special edition, the Stoic Breath, breathing through fear, with Steve Beattie. The Stoa's very own Steve Beattie. So Steve, for those of you who are coming across Steve for the first time, he's the founder and lead instructor of Breathing in Nature, trained in the Wim Hof method, and has been doing something called the Stoic Breath since the Stoa started, really. It was one of the Stoa's very first sessions in our wisdom gym, and it's still going strong today. And it's happening every Sunday at 8 a.m. Eastern time. And the Stoa is sort of like an incubator for things. And so now the Stoic Breath is its own entity. And I think there's 4 sessions happening a week. So definitely check that out. And I reached out to Steve because I haven't had a chance to connect with him in a while, and to do another. And the other reason is to do another Stoic breath session on fear specifically, because as you know, there's a lot of crazy shit happening in the world right now, and there seems to be this nebulous, free floating anxiety, fear that a lot of people are experiencing, and I know it's coming up often in my philosophical coaching practice. And Steve's is one of my favorite breathers and person in general. So I'm happy to bring him here back to the Stoa for a one-off on fear. So I'm just going to hand the keys over to Steve, and we're here for an hour. Going to engage in some conversation, breathing, and Q&A. So, my friend, welcome back to the Stoa.
And I am happy to be here. I'm going to spotlight myself. There I am. It's good to see some old friends back here, and a few breathing nature friends are being introduced to the Stoa tonight, so that is wonderful. So let's talk about fear. We're going to do a breath exercise tonight, and this works better if you have headphones on, headphones or earbuds. So if you have them handy, pop them on. Or if you're wired into a stereo system where the sound sounds like sound and not like a tin can coming out of your laptop, that's always the best way to do this. So you can quickly run off and get your headphones if they're not handy, and we won't start without you. But when Peter reached out and asked about fear, I got thinking about fear, and I realized that we talk about fear a lot in the Stoic Breath. More of an individual basis, fear is kind of a way marker when we're doing the work. I'm listening to beautiful music and you can't hear it, so I'm just going to share my screen now. There we go. Fear pops up all the time because it's there to make us run away. And it crops up in personal ways as anxiety and often distraction. But if you think about what are we afraid of? Where does our fear come from? That fear traditionally from when we were young children, fear was fear of the boogeyman, the monster under the bed. We also have fear of being startled and roller coasters and that kind of stuff. That's a different kind of fear. That's an excitement. That's an adrenaline-driven fear. But that real fear deep in our soul, in our spirit, in our heart, is that fear of the unknown. Where does a boogeyman live? He lives in the shadow, lives in our shadow. So that's what we are afraid of. That's where our fear lives. We have this fear of our shadow. So when we're doing the work, air quotes around the work, when we're doing that self-work, improving ourselves and finding out what's going on the inside, away from all the distractions, and when we start sinking into that space where the healing is, there's fear. There's fear there. And what does fear do? Well, physiologically, fear triggers a fight or flight response. We fight it or we run away from it. And our collective style of running away is to turn on the Netflix, turn on the Instagrams and the Facebooks and distract ourselves. The great distraction, Hollywood, the great distractor. Don't think. Don't pay attention. And so this fear bubbles under the surface all the time. Now, on a personal journey, when you don't deal with that fear, when you don't deal with the shadow, your shadow, it starts to leak out. It comes out in all sorts of ways. And we'll have conflict, first with ourselves, self-talk, negative beliefs, self-destructive behavior, and worse. Also bubbles out into our relationships with our spouse, with our friends, with our children, conflict. But what about a collective consciousness and the collective shadow and the collective boogeyman? Or this collective fear that we have? We've been dumped into the shadow, into the fear for the past 2 years, the pandemic, and now, as a society, have we dealt with our fear? Have we dealt with the collective shadow of society? Many of us took this time to do our personal work and deal with our own shadow. But did we deal with the shadow? Well, we can see that we haven't. It's bubbling out. It's falling through the cracks. The chaos and anger is coming out. We see it everywhere. There's a war brewing. This is our shadow becoming real. So this evening, my friends, we're going to explore fear. When we begin doing personal work, we have blocks in our life. Our first block that we ever come to is denial. We all know what denial is. Nothing wrong, carry on. Just ignore it. Everything's fine. And sometimes we're trying to make a change in our life. Maybe we go on a diet, start an exercise program, start doing a meditation, like a breath class. We do it for a while, then we get bored. That's our second block. Boredom. So when we push through that boredom, we start to get into fear. We start making changes. Fear appears deep within us. Fear is the sign that we're going in the right direction. Fear is meant to be felt. Sink all the way down into it and feel it. Let it bubble up in your heart. All the way through the fear to the other side and see what's there. We need to feel the fear so we come out the other side and have clarity. That's why this breath practice is called the Stoic Breath. The Stoicism is about observing yourself, observing your thoughts and your feelings, what's alive in your heart, truly observing it, feeling it. It's not about not feeling. It's small s Stoicism. So tonight, we are going to feel our fear. I'm going to take you through a breath practice. It's originated as the Wim Hof method. And then it's progressed as I developed, as I learned how to breathe myself. As I was breathing, I started to feel things inside of me. A way to breathe that felt right to me. Then I'd ask some other breath gurus, pranayamic instructors, shamanic breathwork practitioners, and they informed me that I didn't discover anything new. There's something ancient within each of us, a connection to our breath. We don't think about our breath until right now when I mentioned that. But we can take control of our breath, and when we do, we change our state. change the way our brain is working. We change our connection to our heart. We're able to go within. I believe that the very first people that walked out of that Rift Valley in Africa, hundreds of thousands of years ago, had a breath practice. And as they scattered around the world and layered their cultural lenses over it, these breath practices developed into religions and meditations. But it's all the same. So tonight we're going to breathe. You breathe deeply in and out over and over again. As deep as you can, all the way in and all the way out. Don't start yet though. I'll explain more of it. You can breathe through your nose or your mouth. It doesn't matter. Just breathe as deep as you can and let it go. I'm going to be breathing to music and to a rhythm. When I do this live with people, I have a drum and we breathe to the rhythm of a drum, the original instrument. That shamanic drumming, that rhythm that appears, moves us deeper into ourself. So as the music changes, you'll begin to breathe with the drumming, with the rhythm in and out in a steady, connected breath in and out with no pause at the top and no pause at the bottom, just a steady rise and fall of your breath over and over and over again. As you do this, you'll feel all sorts of things. You feel a tingling in your fingertips. You feel a numbness around your nose and mouth. A lightness in your body. Feel a rush of emotions. You may want to laugh. You may want to cry. You may want to scream, shout, hum, chant. All the microphones are locked on mute, so you can make all the noise you want. As the energy moves through you, let your body go. It might want to start moving around. Your body might start to dance all by itself, swaying to the music and vibrating and shaking in your hands. Just let it go. If you feel self-conscious, just turn your camera off. Now, as we breathe in and out over and over again, you'll start to feel a little lightheaded, a little trippy, a little dizzy. And in any breath practice, it's possible to faint during breath work. So make sure you're in a safe place. Sitting comfortably on the floor, a comfortable armchair, lying down on a mat or your bed. Fainting isn't dangerous. Just bumping your head on the way down is dangerous. Don't do this sitting on your stairs, riding your bicycle, driving your car. It's a bad place to faint. Make sure you're in a safe place. And if anything becomes just too much, the breathing is too much for you, just slow down. There's a handful of you who come to my class every day. If you know you need a little bit more, breathe a little bit more. I'm only guiding you. We're going to take a journey together, but each of us are on our own path. After a long time of breathing in and out over and over and over again, we're going to take a final breath in and a final breath out. Then you stop without breath, the bottom of your lungs. And it's in this moment without breath where you turn inwards and observe. I'll guide you inwards there. Take a look at fear. Sink down. Talk to the boogeyman in your shadows. After a long time without breathing, we'll breathe in again. Hold your breath at the top. Feel that rush. bliss. You release. Do this again and again and again. 4 rounds of breathing. If the breath hold is too long, breathe. Breathe whenever you want. Speed up, you can slow down. I'm only here to guide you. If you feel like you weren't paying attention just now and you don't know what's happening, don't worry. I'm going to guide you through the whole thing. Just follow along. I invite you now to make yourself comfortable. Sink back in your comfortable chair, lying down. Make sure you're comfortable. Take a deep breath in. A big sigh of good feelings to start. At times, the music will be drowning out my voice. But don't worry. You're just breathing. Close your eyes down. Turn your awareness to your breath. The rush of air through your nose. The rise of your belly. Expansion of your chest. And let this rhythm of your breath hold your awareness as we go into this practice. You have nothing else to do except breathe. Let all your thoughts of what comes next drift away. Let's begin. Breathe deeply in. As deep as you can. Fill your lungs. Let your breath fall away. Repeat. Breathe deeply in. And let it go. Deeply in. And let it go. Deeply in. And let it go. Continue breathing deeply in and out. Continuous breath. Deep, slow breath, rising and falling without pause. Deep as you can, and let it fall away. Let yourself sigh with every breath. Or hum, or chant. Feel your voice vibrate through your throat. You breathe deeply in and let it go. Every breath as deep as you can. Even as mind wakes up and says, not enough, slow down. Not today, mind. Keep breathing fully in and let it go. Fully in and let it go. Breathe through your nose or your mouth. Whatever makes you comfortable. Feel a tingling in your fingers. Numbness around your nose and mouth. may begin to feel an uneasiness rising in your heart, agitation. Feel a shiver rising in the deepest part of your body. You'll continue to breathe. Connect to the rhythm. Connect to the drum. Breathe. Release. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Deep, steady breaths. Connected rhythm. In. Out. In. Out. Stay with your breath. Let your thoughts go. Just breathe. Release. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. A few more breaths. Stay with it. Breathe. Release. In. Out. Stay in control. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Last breath. Breathe deeply in, deep as you can, all the way to the top. Hold your breath for just a moment and let it go. And now stop. The bottom of your breath. Empty space. Clear your mind. Relax your body. Clear your mind of any expectations, any attentions. Just feel what this feels like to not breathe. To exist without breath. Beneath the surface. Breathe your breath. You feel the desire to squeeze the base of your belly, your root. Feel a rush. Breathe fully out. Squeeze the air from your body. Purge all the way down. Squeeze it out. Breathe deeply in. Squeeze. And let it go. Connected breath again. Faster than before. You know the way it works now. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, out. In, out. Breathing with the rhythm. Connected breath. Rising. Releasing. In. Out. Let everything else go. Just breathe. In. Out. Nose or mouth, doesn't matter. Make all the noise you need. Let your body move if it wants to. There's no rules. In. Out. In. Out. Take full control of this breath. Deeply in. Let it go. In. Out. Notice your mind distracting you. The great block. Let it go. Breathe. Release. In. Out. Breathe. Release. Feel into your body. Tingling. Let your body shake if it needs to. Let it move. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Stay with this breath. A little more. In. Out. In. Out. In. Out. Final breaths. Keep going. In, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe deeply in, as deep as you can. Hold your breath at the top for just a moment. And let it go. Breathe all the way down to the bottom. Squeeze the air from your body. Fully exhale. Deeply in. Let it go. One more breath. Deeply in. And let your breath go as if it's your last breath in this body. And release. Feel all the energy drain away as your body relaxes. Become heavy. Sink down within yourself. Become aware. Whatever's alive in your heart, whatever feelings are lurking here, hiding parts of self that you ignore, neglect. Connect to the shadow. Sink down into the fear, part of self you don't want to touch. Hold your breath just a little more if you can. Allow yourself to feel whatever's here. And breathe deeply in, as deep as you can. And hold. A rush of energy into your body, rush of bliss. And as loud as you can, as loud as you dare, let your breath go with a roar, with a yell, with a scream. Deeper and faster now. Breathing with the rhythm. Breathing with the drum. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. In. Out. All your focus and awareness is here on your breath. There's nothing else. Just breath. In, 2, 3, 4. Out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4. Out. In. Out. Deep, steady breaths. Feel the energy build within you. Emotions rise in your heart. In, out, in, out. Allow yourself to feel whatever's there, whatever you need. Let it go. In, out. And if you're ready, a little faster. In, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. If you can, faster, deeper, in, out, in, out, in, out, in, out. Deep, fast breaths. If it feels right, nose or mouth. In, out, in, out, in, out. Breathe deeply in. Fully out. All the way down. Fully exhale. Empty your lungs. Purge of air. Breathe deeply in. And let it go. Deeply in. Let it go. Deeply in. Let it go. One more. Deeply in. And let it go. Sink down to the bottom of this breath, to the quiet space, an empty space. Without breath, for a long time if you can. Feel into this space. All the feelings you ignore. The fear, the guilt, the shame. Let yourself go down into this space. Trust your heart. Give yourself permission. Sink down into the shadows to understand where your fear lies. If you need to breathe, breathe. One more time. Breathe deeply in and out. Connect with what's within. Deeply in and let it go. Connect with your breath now. Deeply in and out. Whatever rhythm rises within you. Deep, full breaths. All the way in and all the way out in a connected, continuous breath. Fast or slow, nose or mouth, silence or as much noise as you can. Breathe with all the energy within you. Connect to this energy of fear. Connect to the wild twin that hides in your shadow. Breathe in and out. Let your body move. Let yourself feel this fear. Let it shake through your body. Let it tremble, shiver. Breathe in and out. Let go of whatever you're holding on to, whatever you're holding back. Breathe in and out. Let it go. Let fear flow through your heart. All these parts of shadow flow into the light as you breathe in and out. Stay with your breath. Breathe. The rhythm take you. Surrender to your breath. Deep, full breaths. Fast or slow, just breathe. Let yourself laugh, cry. Tears run down your cheeks. The energy move through you. Whatever is there, let it shake loose. Breathe. In and out. Final breaths. Whatever you need. Breathe and release. Last breath. Breathe deeply in. Hold. Squeeze your body. And let your breath go. Sink down to the bottom of your breath. Down to the bottom of your heart. Down deep within. Feel yourself sinking, tumbling, falling inwards. Find yourself this infinite empty space. Where all your fears have hidden. And just notice, without judgment or labels, experience beyond words. Beyond the mind and body. Deep within your heart, in your spirit. It's time for you to breathe. Breathe in. Feel a rush. As you return to your natural breath, invite your fear into your heart. Recognize it for what it is. There are monsters that we can slay within us. The boogeyman that hides within our heart. Come to terms with who we are, where we came from. To observe ourselves. Notice the impression that life makes on your spirit. Global fear permeates consciousness. How you respond. You can only work on self. Strengthening your small part. The global fear. You can only accept what's beyond your control. Take a deep breath in. A big sigh of good feelings. Sigh of contentment. Sigh of acceptance. Wiggle your fingers. with your hands and feet and stretch your body. Come back into this time and place. Back into your body. Back into this reality. You get to open your eyes. Come back. If you're lying down, take your time getting up. You have a little head rush. If you like, gather around the digital campfire once again. And perhaps you wish to drift away back into that weird space, that other world, connection to self. We have a few minutes left this evening. Anybody would like to ask a question or two, make a comment, you're always welcome. I'm going to put a couple links up in the chat. Oops, it's just one link. Let's try that again. Here, where can we reach you? My email that I just put up there. Let's try that again. There we go. Put a couple links there. So for the people who came through the Breathing in Nature community, this is the Stoa. Welcome. These are the people I've been talking about. And that's their link right there, thestoa.ca. Wonderful magic happens at the Stoa. So please check it out. And you can find me at breathinginnature.com. You can email me, steve@breathinginnature.com. And we do this 4 times a week. Sunday is the big one, which you can link to from the Stoa. We do it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday as well. There are lots of exogenous sources that can be used in combination with breath work. Sharika, you have your hand up. How do I pick you? Are we all like fully muted? Hold on.
Everyone was on mute, but they can off mute themselves. So, and then you got muted, Steve.
Yes, now people could unmute yourself if you wish. Sharika, you had your hand up? No? No. Take it back.
Hello? Okay, now we got it.
Now we got it.
There we go. Thank you so much, Steve, Stoa, everyone here. I actually had this realization with, kind of the mandates being removed with masks. It's really made me appreciate breathing in a whole new way. That this is something that we've always had available to us. And it's kind of like now that that's kind of been removed and everyone's kind of breathing now kind of without obstruction, is just this gratefulness and this door that's open now that, yeah, breathing's like good shit. Like it's it's not just, you know, like I don't know, there's just this grace and this honor that I feel now, as I've kind of slowly started. Today, one thing that was new territory for me was sometimes when I breathe, and maybe it's fear, maybe it's pressure, but I would feel this shaking and this pressure. And I kind of ended up in the fetal position, but I basically at that moment, what came to me through my body is like, I'm a grenade. So typically, if you hear grenade, that's kind of like dangerous, but to let yourself, you know, to let my soul really pressurize in that, because we're spirit, right? And our experience here, we're in this body, but our spirit is literally so expansive, so immense. So it's like, let yourself pressurize and then just and then blow up, because our day to day, we're like, we're contained and we're trying to bring peace and we're in our bodies. So that was a very wonderful gift of just allowing that kind of chaos to really centralize. And then you, I don't know, maybe I'll call it the supernova. Maybe that's the yoga, but that's what was coming to me today.
There is a wonderful myth, story, legend about the boy who couldn't shudder. And it's about somebody who's just so locked up and so locked down they can't feel anything, and particularly fear. Everything's just locked down, and he finally learned to shudder by going into the cold, by going into an ice bath. But it's shaking loose, and we shake that energy free through breath work and going inwards and finding what's there. And one of the things we're working with this week in the Stoic Breath is ancestral healing and energies that are within us, that they don't have to be identified as anything. We don't have to have a direct connection to what this energy is. It's just there, and it can just explode like a supernova, like a hand grenade, just blow up and come out. And it does. It will come out. That's when we don't deal with the shadow, when we don't deal with our fears, it comes out. And that's what we're seeing globally, is the global shadow, the global boogeyman coming out. Thank you to everyone for your kind words. Somebody, can you unmute yet? Some people can, some people can't. There you go. Thank you, my friends. Any last words, Peter?
Just that I feel really fucking good right now. Just the Stoic Breath. And yeah, for those of you watching on YouTube right now, you can check out Steve's website, breathinginnature.com. Will be on the video description. And for those of you who just being introduced to the Stoa for the first time, we have a session tomorrow you might like called Embodiment Hour. Skylar Brown. It's embodiment. We watch a prompt and we get embodied first, and then we talk about it. So that should be fun. And I imagine Steve and I we're both in Toronto, so we're probably going to get up to some cool Stoa in-person events here. So stay tuned.
Yep. Live events, live in High Park.
Amen. All right, everyone. Any final words you'd like to leave us with, Steve?
Breathe. All I can say, it's free, it's within you. Go inwards. For those of you, if this was your first time doing a breathwork practice, it's a big part of your mind is holding on for dear life on what the hell is happening here. Come back, do it again and again and again. You get the hang of it. And then that's when you start to let go and you sink down, and it just happens. It just starts to flow. And then you notice all those blocks after a while, that boredom block comes in. I don't want to do breath work again, because your mind is stopping you from progressing. So just pay attention to those and come out again, please. The Stoic Breath runs the same way as all the other sessions do on the gift economy. So it's open to everybody. Come on out. Take a breath. Thank you, my friends. Much love.
Take care, everyone.